Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers OC Arthur Smith shares what fired him up about QB Justin Fields. The Pittsburgh Steelers didn't score a touchdown against the Atlanta Falcons during Week 1. But they won, and despite not reaching the end zone, there were a lot of positives about how quarterback Justin Fields played. Steelers offensive coordinator Arthur Smith agreed. To open his session with the media on September 12, Smith explained what impressed him the most about how Fields played in the season opener. What fired me up was situational football. End of the half, things you work on, handle that situation, being able to get points on the board, flip the momentum a little bit going in the half, Smith told reporters. And really at the end of the game. We had 6 out of 10 drives where we had scoring. Now, we want touchdowns. That's not celebrating Fields' goals, but the efficiency of that, and then based on that we had 6 scoring drive, 2 of them really situational football, because that one late in the game, you don't want to get greedy, and you kind of concede it. Once he converted on that quarterback counter, that thing was over. We just bled the clock down. In many ways, Fields' debut with the Steelers went the opposite of the way his tenure did with the Chicago Bears. Fields didn't have many highlight reel plays in Week 1. But he excelled situationally during the 18-10 victory. Fields completed 17 of 23 passes for 156 yards. He added 57 rushing yards on 14 carries and also took 2 sacks. That's a rather pedestrian stat line. But while Fields didn't have a touchdown, he also didn't throw an interception or lose a fumble. In Chicago, Fields did a terrific job of showcasing his athleticism and talent. But he didn't always play smart, situational football. Smith suggested that's often the difference at the NFL level. In Fields' first game with the Steelers, he didn't allow the Falcons' defense to make that difference. That's how you lose the games, you know, Smith said. Plus, the plan. The way I looked at it, maybe it's because I coached Jessie Bates, and I've got so much respect for Jessie Bates, but that guy is a game wrecker, and just trying to neutralize him, which I thought we did, and that's what it came down to. Turnovers, our game wrecker wrecked the game, theirs didn't. Smith also noted that Fields was able to accomplish what he did on September 8 after a sudden change. Fields wasn't 100% sure he was going to start until hours prior to kickoff. The national media has pushed for Fields to become Pittsburgh's starting quarterback since the early spring. But throughout the summer, head coach Mike Tomlin and the Steelers remained rather steadfast in their desire to start Russell Wilson. However, that could be changing. Tomlin told reporters on September 10 that Wilson feels better but is still not healthy. So, Tomlin said the team was moving forward by preparing Fields to start again in Week 2. Over the past 2 days, there has been no suggestion that that plan is changing. More notably, on 2 separate occasions, Tomlin could have told the media Wilson will still start with healthy, but he instead denied to answer any hypothetical questions. If Fields does receive the opportunity to start another week, he promised that the offense would get off to a better start against the Denver Broncos than it did in Week 1. Although he didn't lose the fumble, Fields botched the first snap versus the Falcons. The Steelers' offense also averaged only 2.72 yards per play on its first 2 drives of the game. The Steelers will face the Broncos on the road at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time on September 15. Fields has never played at altitude in Denver. A former member of the Broncos, Wilson played his home games in Denver for 2 seasons. Fittipaldo believes Troy Fautanu will start at RT, Broderick Jones to bench Sunday. With 3 healthy and game-ready tackles for the first time in a month, the Pittsburgh Steelers have a decision to make: who gets the start? And who is the odd man out? Though nothing is set in stone, Steelers beat writer Ray Fittipaldo believes Dan Moore Jr. and Troy Fautanu will be the starting tackle Sunday against the Denver Broncos. If I had to guess the way it's gonna transpire on Sunday, and I think we'll have more clarity tomorrow, I would say Dan Moore at left, Troy Fautanu at right, Fittipaldo told 93.7 The Fans Andrew Filipponi and Chris Mueller. Fittipaldo made clear it was his belief, not a report, and is going off what Mike Tomlin said during his Tuesday press conference. Speaking to reporters, Tomlin said Fautanu was deserving of battling for a starting role. According to the Trib's Chris Adamski, Fautanu and Jones took first-team right tackle reps during Thursday's practice. But the framing of the article, including Fautanu's words that he's very excited for this weekend, hints that Fautanu will get the nod. With Moore's ankle injury minor, practicing in full today, he is expected to resume his left tackle role, the spot he's manned for nearly every game since being drafted in 2021. Fittipaldo later speculated Moore could be benched later in the season if he struggles. It would leave Jones as the odd man out. Fittipaldo believes that's the way things were trending this summer before Troy Fautanu sprained his MCL in the preseason opener versus the Houston Texans. That knocked him out for the rest of camp and the next 2 exhibition games. While he was healthy enough to dress against the Atlanta Falcons, he served as the backup to Jones and Moore. Jones had a strong showing against Atlanta. Jones wasn't a liability but didn't play as good of a game. With the team high on Fautanu, the organization ecstatic when he fell to them at number 20, they want to quickly get eyes on what they have. While they may still remain high on Jones, benching your first-round pick is a discouraging sign. There may not be official word until Sunday's first possession, but it'll be one of the top stories to watch against the Denver Broncos. Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker goes down with new groin injury. Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker Patrick Queen is dealing with a groin injury and did not practice on Thursday. The injury popped up out of nowhere after Queen fully practiced on Wednesday. This does not mean that Queen will miss Sunday's game against the Denver Broncos. Just last week, tight end Darnell Washington missed Thursday's practice with a knee injury but played on Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons. This could be the same issue, though Queen's injury is a soft tissue injury, which raises the concern. If Queen cannot play, the Steelers would start linebackers Elandon Roberts and Peyton Wilson against the Broncos. Queen had 2 tackles in the team's first game against the Falcons. The Steelers signed Queen to a 3-year contract in March to become the center point of the linebacker corps. His speed and range made him a first-team All-Pro selection a season ago, next to Roquan Smith with the Baltimore Ravens. The Steelers signed Queen in an attempt to add depth to the linebacker room, especially with linebacker Cole Holcomb sidelined with a severe knee injury to begin the year. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Patrick Queen? Leave your opinion in the comments.